How's it going, everybody? My name is Asbiel, and I am the Guild Master of the Guild of Legends located in the heart of the multiverse. And it appears, having some slight issues, some technical difficulties. There we go. Uh, with that resolved, tonight we are playing Control. This is a game that I definitely consider to be one of my favorites. Very big fan of Remedy and the games that they put out. And that ultimately goes all the way back to, I suppose, at the earliest, Max Payne. I was a very big fan of that game when it was new, the original game. Uh, Even though I was far too young to understand anything that was going on, and too um too I don't know. I barely knew how to play games at that point. Never really uh got to a point where I was reasonable at playing games until I was probably already an adult. But anyway, that continued on with Alan Wake, which I had discovered independently from uh, Max Payne because I didn't really follow Remedy super closely. But with Alan Wake, I really kind of fell in love with their style of writing again, and then once again independently found Control while shoot, I don't even remember how I found it exactly, but I picked it up, didn't realize who had made it, and started playing it. Learned a little bit more about who the fact that Remedy made it and everything, um, and just the way that they've tied it in with Alan Wake and everything.
This
I'm
is gonna be weirder
really
than usual.
a huge fan.
Can't be helped. You called me. So here I am. I know I shut you out sometimes. I'm always glad to hear from you. It's just that I get my hopes up. So many times it's led to nothing. I found nothing. It's like we live in a room, and there's a poster on the wall. We stare at it and we think that's the whole world. The room and the poster. The picture's something nice. A landscape, a famous person. Like in that movie, what is it called? The prison movie. The room's a cell, and the picture, it's different for each of us. It can be beautiful or terrible, but we're all transfixed. But it's all a lie. Something to distract us from the truth. They're lying to us. We're lying to ourselves. The room's not the world. The world is much bigger and much stranger. There's a hole hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world. We all feel safe in that room. But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster. And the ones that see it happen freak out and try to forget what they saw. I'm here. Why did you bring me here?
Hello? Anyone here?
All right. So I haven't done much to really test the streaming quality of Control while I'm streaming it. Uh, Not even when I originally played it, I played it on the console, didn't play it on the computer as I'm doing now. But we're gonna see how this goes. If it is less than ideal, then that's too bad. If it works out, that's fantastic. Uh, and just looking at it now, it looks like it might be a little bit choppy. Um,
This seal. I saw it a long
but
time ago. I keep
again,
seeing
not
it in
really
my
an
dreams.
immediate solution we have. So we're just gonna have to go with it. Uh, as far as the game goes, I'm kind of wandering around now. Occasionally, I'm picking up these little interactable things. I'm definitely not going to be going for like any kind of crazy
Federal
completion
Bureau of Control.
or
All these years I've been looking for them and they were hiding in plain sight.
not necessarily looking to get all of the collectibles or anything like that. I'm just going to be playing through the story and everything like that because I enjoy it and I want to share my enjoyment of it with anyone who would like to join in and watch as we go through. Oh, I don't know why I got caught up with this room.
Hello?
This game is really wonderfully strange.
Hey, excuse me.
There you are. You are here about the job. Janitor's assistant. You need to go to the interview. Go that way to the elevator.
Thanks. Elevator that way. Got it.
Very good. I'm Ahti, the janitor, by the way. You'll work for me. You can say I sent you. If they don't hire you, niin Johan on helvet. There be work for the axe. Take them behind the sauna, jumalauta.
I've done enough night shift loner jobs to know it makes us come off weird. Ahti the janitor is a friendly face in my book.
Better than somebody with no face at all. Think about it. No face.
But that said, I know what you're thinking. If there's an axe murderer around, that's him.
That is a really cool interaction because Ahti is the first person you see coming into this. It's just dark hallways and the lobby. Otherwise, some portraits here and there, but no people until you meet Ahti here. And if you didn't catch it, there's a lot of inner monologue through the main character, Jesse, and he seemingly responded to her inner monologue. You know, she said something about him being a friendly face, and he responded by saying better than no face at all, which is just an immediate, if you pick up on it, an immediate thing that says that this stuff is a little weird already. There's already some hints of that through kind of the intro. There's whoever Jesse is talking to at the very beginning there, that said, the thing that always gets her hopeful and all of that. Another bit of interesting thing is this building could absolutely have two nearly identical lobbies, but I don't know if that's the case. Uh, the one difference here is that this room or an equivalent wasn't present on the lobby that you start in, but everything else seems to be the same, which is interesting because you don't even have to come down here. So it's just like a side thing that you can see. You just see the lobby from up here if you even look in that direction, because the game is sending you to the elevator. But assuming it's, you know, I mean, I could run all the way back through and go back to where I started, but it, you know, you could take it as maybe this is supposed to be the same place, and assign that of some of that weirdness
The cell.
that kind of makes up the core
and
of
the
the game
poster.
story.
I was 11 years old the first time I saw behind the poster. They told me I imagined it. I've been trying to pull it down ever since. Will you help?
Now, as far as cutscenes and things go, I'm gonna try not to talk over any of the dialogue or anything in the game. But if it's otherwise like silence like this and stuff, then I may use that opportunity to voice my thoughts. And we'll just have to hope that the audio balance works out well enough. I'll have to take a look at that in a second. This intro sequence also shows you, like, it kind of pulls you right in with weirdness and stuff like that that really further promotes kind of the setting of the scene
Did I lose you there for a moment?
that they've already done.
You know what's on my mind. My baby brother, Dylan. 17 years since the men of this bureau took him.
Internal lockdown in effect. Building lockdown in effect. Multiple containment breaches detected. Multiple building shifts detected. Head of research override. HRA protocol activated. So that's a lot of stuff that, I mean, lockdowns, you know, pretty straightforward. Containment breaches, you can assume what that might mean, you know. Building shifts detected, and HRA protocol, like, those are like strange terminology that is really cool that they introduced to you right at the beginning by having this room that you're kind of drawn to by the sound, the siren that is going off just in this room. And of course, there was a collectible in there as well that mentioned some terminology and stuff. Let's see if I'm curious to see. Not researching records. Prove terminology. Remind. Okay, so yeah, it has nothing to do with any of the stuff we saw on that screen, so that's just a cool little thing that they've set up, I think. I'm probably gonna be mentioning a lot of things that I just think are cool about this game, so you know, be ready for that. But we just heard a sound in the director's office, so we're gonna check that out. And you know what? Before we go any further, just in case, because I don't know who's watching this on the stream or in the VODs or anything like that. So, just gonna throw out, I guess, a general content warning for this game. There are a lot of things that could probably be seen as disturbing or, you know, troubling. And just keep that in mind and be aware as we move forward.
Shit. Shit. You want me to pick it up? The murder weapon? Really? Something's outside. Was coming here a mistake? And there goes the poster.
Objects of power can cause or be results of AWE's altered world events, intrusions upon the perceived reality. Now, the service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's DNA, a key component in our prime candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner and you're it.
Look at this place. Where am I?
No, this isn't really a stream about D&D or tabletop or anything like that, but this game has definitely served to let me turn things down here a little bit. This game has served to really inform some of the visual I try to bring into certain elements of my D&D games with like this strange, like otherworldly stone, just the white void, you know, that we've got going on around here. And if you could see it in the cutscene, the weapon she was holding looked like a gun, like a revolver of some sort, but it was made of these like shifting chunks of possibly like this stone or metal or whatever this is. It looked kind of similar to it, but really just like these little like vibrating, shifting chunks of whatever material, as opposed to like a solid piece. And something consistent. The fact that it's constantly moving. This and here we've got just like pyramid coming through the void, upside down pyramid, and the, I guess you could call it a voice. It really doesn't feel right to call it a voice, but it all, I mean, what else would you call it? Of the board that occasionally pipes in to talk a little bit. It's just really like just thematically incredible. I love it. Yeah, as soon as she grabs it, you see those pieces start moving. And then they're settled. They're locked in for the most part.
Now I have a gun.
And you can see on the model they're still moving, but it's not that like rapid vibrating like it's locked in and kind of accepted her maybe a little bit. And then you go to aim, and you see the one piece raises up to be kind of like the sight, and oh, I am terrible at aiming with a controller. These guys are also really cool in their design, just because, like, they look human, but they're just weird enough, right? Like, their arms are a little bit too long. The way that they move is a little inhuman. Because they're kind of shambling, almost like zombies, as opposed to the way, you know, people would walk.
Something's coming. This threat. An attack. Duty as director. Keep the Bureau safe.
Did you hear that? It's the dead man. Right after the pyramid spoke to me, and it was just noise, and I understood every word. And this gun's alive. You know what? I'm happy. Happy to be here. Things have quieted down outside. Is it safe to go?
The service weapon really, I think, is a really cool way to do a weapon that is, I mean, she says the weapon's alive. Whether it is like some sort of sentient thinking entity or just that is delightfully creepy. I love that shot right there. Just the dark hallway, brightly lit from the back with the just burning red, and then these guys just floating there. It is so creepy and so well done, with that little stinger as you open the door and everything. Oh, fantastic.
You can't let this happen. 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 You stopped it. You... Oh, thank you. That was... horror.
Get the fuck away!
Now, the only real, the only thing that really tells you who she's talking to in all these moments where she's kind of narrating to someone is that little overlay that seems to tie into
Secure line of communication.
the way they do these is really cool too.
Reach the hotline.
The hotline, says the dead man. Okay.
But yeah, that overlay effect it does when she is talking to this other, uh, whoever she's talking to. It's the only real hints that as to what's going on there. But yeah, that the effect they do when he was talking just there is it. My first instinct was to assume it's just an overlay on the screen, but the fact that I could look away and it wouldn't move with me showed that it's actually like kind of overlaid onto the world itself instead of the camera view. But yeah, it kind of brings me back to not Alan Wake, Max Payne. The way narration would be done there in that game is kind of the way that that character does his narration in this game. All right, we've got more enemies. Now, I also mentioned this game gets tied in with Alan Wake, so that might be another game I have to go back and play on stream, because with the way that the expansions of this game tie in Alan Wake, especially with the coming sequel to Alan Wake, I think that's something I'm gonna have to do moving forward. Maybe, you know, obviously I wouldn't want to do too much all at once, but I might run Alan Wake alongside this game. Whoops. Oh,
Reminder,
audio.
if you experience an unanticipated building shift, follow these simple steps. 1. Search the room for any altered items or objects of power. 2. Carry the altered item or object of power to the nearest safe room. 3. Wait for Bureau staff to find you and the object. If there are no altered items or objects of power in the vicinity, then reach your supervisor via the nearest intercom and await further instructions. Thank you for your attention.
Interesting thing here is that you know, in the earlier bit after Jesse picks up the gun, the board says she's the director now, and there's already portraits of Jesse as the director, which is, you know, a thing that shouldn't be possible, and I really love that. I love the way that elements of the story are dealing with impossible things. But yeah, I think what I might need to do is either play Alan Wake alongside Control for a little while, or possibly put Control on just a brief pause after this stream to play through Alan Wake first. That way, when we get to you know, elements where stories cross over in Control's DLCs, then, you know, stuff will make a little bit of sense. Also, the chant that's going on is coming from these guys, in case you hadn't picked it up. I think there are a few parts in the game where you can actually get like a subtitle for the chanting. Oh, didn't realize there was one in here too. So much for a safe room, huh, dude? Well. But yeah, I think there are some elements in the game where you can get a subtitle of the chanting, but oh, it's so red. God, the use of color and lighting in this game is phenomenal. Truly incredible. Because like most situations, like if you're trying to do a game that's, you know, generally realistic feeling, this kind of a situation where it's all bright red in a situation where it normally wouldn't be red like this wouldn't work. But because of the weirdness of this game, it does work. It works very well.
The hissing sound that tried to invade me earlier. The hiss. Burrowing into everything in this place. Is the hiss your enemy? Alright, it's our enemy. That babble's contagious. It burrows in like an infuriating melody that makes you hum it over and over.
Oh, you know what? The reason this isn't doing anything is probably because I have copyrighted music turned off for the stream. Because that's an option that they include in the game, and I figured that's probably a good idea. um, but yeah, just there's more talk there with whoever Jesse is talking to, and you could see that that kind of spirally shiny overlay effect, and like this smokiness effect that they use a lot in the game when weird things are happening. Sort of like shimmer in the air. All right, and that one guy there
Must cleanse control points.
had a name.
Anatomy. Corrupt. Spreading.
Cleanse the control point. What does that mean? Help me fix it.
And immediately all the red is gone, and you get to see a little bit of a building shift. Or technically, I suppose,
Holy shit.
almost like
We did
undoing
it.
of building shift.
We did it.
Hello? Can you hear me?
And you
with
can,
us? With the Bureau? Are you still sane?
it's really cool too, because you can see now it's like whoever she's talking to normally. Obviously, there's this other voice coming through the
Please,
speaker.
talk to me.
Uh,
We saw you deal with the compromised agents.
but you can see the shimmer is like pointing things out to her, as if this other person or whoever she's talking to
Is it safe to come out?
helping guide her.
I can't tell you how happy I am to talk to somebody sane.
The feeling's mutual. Yeah, I'm Pope, Emily Pope, Dr. Darling's assistant.
My turn. Should I lie?
Jesse Faden. I'm just visiting.
I should have lied.
Oh, shit. You're the new director. Hold on. We're coming out.
Director Faden.
Call me Jesse.
Okay, Jesse. I'm Emily. Like, somehow, this hostile force, this
Hiss?
that works. Somehow the Hiss managed to infiltrate the building without any warning.
And just like that, my name for it is official. The hiss. Like the sound of poison gas leaking in.
We're in full lockdown. It seems to have spread everywhere and to everyone not protected by an HRA. And, extraordinarily, you. You are the director, and that makes you special by definition. Trench is no longer the director, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. This whole situation is just a lot.
Trench is dead. Shot.
Ah,
I found his body. And the gun. Do I tell her it looked like a suicide?
the service weapon.
Also, and this can sound crazy, but he keeps appearing to me, saying things. It's hard to make out, but he told me to cleanse the control point, push the hiss out. The whole room shifted around.
You did that? And you entered the building when it was already in the lockdown before you became the new director? How?
I'm not ready to tell her about you yet. A janitor let me in.
I love it. This is fucking unbelievable. I can't even... Look, Jesse, I have a million questions, and you probably have a million more.
Like, do you know my brother Dylan? Not yet.
But there's something I need to ask you to do first. If you can cleanse a control point, then you can maybe cure those infected or possessed by the hiss. Because if that's possible, our options are very different.
Emily Pope. I don't know her, but I like her already. She's the opposite of the faceless agency I've blamed for what happened to me for so long. But I can't trust her yet. Or rather, the Bureau she's a part of. Yes. I can try. I'm speaking for you, of course. We can try it together. Okay. You with me? We did it before. Push the hiss out. It didn't work. The hiss has burrowed too deep. Ripping it out rips them apart.
Jesse, over here. We need to make a plan, Jesse.
I can't cleanse them.
I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jesse.
I'm gonna tell her why I'm here. I'll risk it. Listen. The Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time. That's enough. Maybe that's too much already. I can't tell her about Dylan and the rest yet.
I've seen mentions of an Altered World event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing. I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. Or a few of us. And Director Trench would know.
Trench. The ghost, or whatever he is, he mentioned something called the Hotline. Said I should find it.
It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone, a direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the Hiss.
Where is the Hotline?
It's kept in the communications department through the mailroom. It's part of this sector, so we can access it even with the lockdown in place. We'll get the door open for you.
Okay, that's my next stop.
That's Tomasi's department. He's the head of communications. I don't think he had an HRA. He kind of made a point about not wearing one earlier. Keep an eye out.
They call me the director. But that's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know. Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world. What scares me shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the Hiss destroy it all.
I know this is all new to you, so don't hesitate to ask me anything you want to know. There are no stupid questions. The door to the comms department is just outside the boardroom back in the lobby. They should have gotten it open by now.
How do I do menu? So I picked up a few mods, so don't remember really what's what. So we'll just do the health one and a damage boost for the service weapon. Materials I don't think matter. Missions, there's just the one, and collectibles doesn't matter. Alright, so there is more of that, using that effect to kind of point you in the right direction. They do that a lot throughout the game, pointing you to important things through the main story, but of course you're always free to roam. How do I open up the map again? There we go. Alright, so I think, more portrait. I think the only place to go right now is where it's telling me. Nostalgia department. With the strangest, like the kind of SCP inspiration behind this game, you get really cool, strangely named things like Nostalgia Department and Dead Letters. So
There it is again. Our welcome message.
oh, there it was. Yep, so if you sit here long enough, you can get the whole thing. But if you're really interested in it, you can look it up online. The script for the Hiss chant. But just the fact that they have this thing, it really helps with making the whole creepy. The creepiness of the game. I'm getting sidetracked because there's a guy there that's gonna want to fight in a second. But yeah, the Hiss chant is, I think, one of the creepiest things because it's just a bunch of nonsense that they're saying. But if you play through the game and you pick up on the story and think about what they're saying, some elements of it seemed, at least to me, like it might make a little bit of sense. Like it might relate in some way to the story.
Yes, it's overpowering here. You don't want me anywhere near it. I'm with you on that.
Whoops, not what I wanted to do. Oh. I have the kind of the instinct of hitting a button to reload, but that's not a thing here. And in doing so, I keep hitting the melee button. Was there a cover? No, I don't think there was. So this room has something bad going on. That area, that corridor is full of red, has some just having this like unrelenting voice just screaming this entire time is really wild. I have actually used elements of the Hiss chant, not directly, but like, actually, there might have been some bits of it, but just that concept of just like this rambling nonsense that feels like it means nothing. I've used that in a D&D game before in a scenario where there was weird, otherworldly, like, just however you describe this. I had elements of this same kind of vibe in a D&D game previously, and this game really helped inspire how to kind of narrate stuff in that game. Now that we're here, we don't have that one voice like screaming at us anymore, but you can hear all of the others are still going. If I remember correctly, dead letters. Like the idea of this part of the Bureau is like it's letters that either were intercepted by the Bureau or they just somehow ended up here. I don't remember what the deal is exactly off the top of my head, but like it's letters sometimes dealing with weird like oddities and stuff, but I think also just like stuff that's not really related to anything. Let me see. Let me see if I can there we go. Delinquent mail. Yeah, so the idea that I got from it when I originally played this game was that it was stuff like this. Like, it has nothing to do with anything, but it's there. Maybe that wasn't a Dead Letters one. I don't remember, but this one definitely was. I just saw the name Machine God, and it's like just this description of this like weird story, this weird thing that's going on. Sounds like the ramblings of a madman, but because this the Bureau deals with strange things and stuff like that, like the unexplainable, you know, having a place where they can go through letters and stuff like that is really cool. Now, there are a series of like videos throughout Control that are really like disturbing, creepy. Like it's made to be like a kid's like puppet show basically, and the idea is that they're tapes that were made by the Bureau to help educate kids that might be in the Bureau for whatever reason. They creep me out, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip them. If that's what this is, I'm gonna
Just look at it.
Okay.
8 inches
Yeah.
wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes. This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it. A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the Cold War era collective unconscious. A receptacle. It is a receptacle for dangerous energies to hone in on, and they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. OOP. Oops. Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've launched maybe 3 dozen pencils. And once, we even launched a cup.
All right, so that wasn't one of the ones I was talking about. That one is just kind of
Communications. We're on the
a
right
little bit
track.
of world building, and foreshadowing. But yeah, the ones that I mentioned, I will absolutely be skipping because I truly despise them. They are so weird and creepy and unsettling. I don't know why, but I feel the need to blast the stall doors every time. All right, so I've got steps that go up here, and then I have the walkway, the corridor. So let's just check to see if there's any collectibles up here or anything before we continue on. Because as much as the point of this is not to go through and get everything, I do also still feel the need to that must be Tomasi, the head of the communications department. I do still feel the need to go through and get things. So that guy, more of that red badness and that effect that they use so frequently in this game, that weird shifting, like shimmering stuff. So that guy must be dead. Because if he wasn't, I don't think we would just leave him there.
An object of power. Looks like the hiss have latched onto it. We need to cleanse it.
So here is why I was saying that video was a little bit of foreshadowing. Because we're now in a spot where stuff is being launched through the air. That video was talking about the disc with the Soviet launch codes. That was an object of power that they used to telekinetically throw things. And this also shows what happened to that guy who was crawling outside the room. He got whacked by stuff that this was throwing. I'm having a weird issue with movement. Like sometimes the character is just like slowing down for no apparent reason, and like sprinting stops. I'm not sure why that's happening. I don't know if it has to do with the controller I'm using. I'm using the Switch Pro controller for this. I don't know if it's related to that or if it's just a weird quirk of like this version of the game or something. I don't remember having this issue playing through on the PlayStation though. So I don't know. But here's the disc.
It's harder to hear you when I'm here. It's like the channel's been changed. The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in the Bureau seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director.
Alright, so now I have this really cool telekinesis ability, and since I've got this power, I'm now back in this place to learn how to use it. Oh, they took the cube from me. The nice thing about the launch power is that it's genuinely one of the more directly damaging abilities. So like these normal guys, I can just take them out in one hit with it. And the nice thing is I don't even have to directly aim at what I'm picking up. It'll just kind of latch on to the nearest stuff if I'm not directly looking at anything. Like, you can see that block over there to the right is still highlighted. With nothing else around, it was close enough to get that one, and that one. Let's see. I don't see anything highlighted. There's nothing that seems to be in view. But it still found a cube from off to the right. Pulled something out from behind me. So, just like game mechanics wise, they made it really smooth to use because you can look at stuff and focus on it, but you don't have to. So if you want to be very specific about what you pick up, it's an
I
option.
got it. Just like you wanted, right? This will help me play through this.
I am low on health. I'm gonna grab some cover here. There we go. And I'm gonna try to go steal some of that life. So, I think it mentions it like in an early tutorial, but the way you get life in this game is through just these little glowing bits that the enemies drop. Without those, from what I can remember, there really is no other healing in the game. So posting up in one spot like I was doing in that fight doesn't work out super well all the time, because if you start taking a bunch of damage, you won't have access to any of the healing. Nope, and that got rid of that that wall, but let's go check out the shelter real quick first. Collectible. Another box of stuff. Let's see if... Okay. Nothing good to change my loadout with, so I will stick with what I've got. Yeah, this weird kind of jittering that
Emily
the
said
movement
that the
is doing is
hotline can be
strange.
reached through the mailroom.
That voice is really kind of overwhelming again, almost. Which, I guess it must be coming through... the PA. I don't think that made any difference, but that'd be a cool quirk if you could shut him up a little bit by blasting the the speakers. Oh, what's this? Ah, clearance level 1.
This must open the door.
Probably needed to get through that door then. Didn't even realize. But we've got another control point, like the one in the central executive space. So now that's an active fast travel point we can use. So while I don't really get into full-on horror games and stuff, this feels like it's not exactly horror, but something adjacent to it, which is something that works well enough for me.
Mystifying the airwaves for more than 29 years. Thank you for staying up with us. Ghosts. We've had many callers over the years tell us of hauntings, voices, and other phantasmagorical phenomena. Today, friend of the show, Dr. Quincy Reagan, tells his story. Quincy, thanks. This is something I experienced recently while staying at the Chili Pines Motel in Macon for last year's SuspiciaCon. I was in room 47. The night manager, an avid listener of the program, insisted I take this particular room. Now, the manager explained that years back, the body of a man was discovered under the bed, inside that wooden border that motel beds tend to have. And the body had been there a week, he said. Guests had stayed there, sleeping with the corpse a foot below. They only found the body when housekeepers complained about the smell. Hauntings have been reported in room 47 ever since. I happily took the room. I fell asleep pretty quick, checking under the bed first, of course. No ghosts visited me, no chilly spots or flickering lights. But when I woke up, I found myself under the bed. It was dark and stiflingly hot. Luckily, I was able to push the mattress off and crawl out before I suffocated. The night manager was kind enough to find me another room.
There you have it, listeners. What we call ghosts take many forms. Quincy was brave enough to tell his story, and I encourage you to keep calling and writing whenever you encounter something strange, something you can't explain. Maybe you're seeing colors that we have no name for. When no one else believes you, we do. America Overhead.
I just wanted to stop for a moment, pick up that little audio thing. I didn't expect an enemy to spawn like that, but another named enemy. This one, Ranger First Class Coleman. So, those fights sort of play out like mini bosses of a sort. Not necessarily, I don't think they're necessarily placed in relation to bosses. At least not all the time. But it's just an interesting way of marking out enemies that are a little bit stronger than the usual. And a little way to do, I guess, a little bit more very light world building by giving them names. Alright, so I can get in here now. This said it was locked, so that must have been accessed because of the... Oh, it's the janitor's card I'm hearing. Another area with that strange stuff that game doesn't want me to approach. I didn't notice that before. The cameras actually follow you. I don't think I can go this one. I think I have to go to this door down here. But you know what? I didn't check out the bathrooms real quick. We'll do that, and then we'll swing through. God, it's dark in here, and that kind of genuinely freaked me out a little bit. I don't know why. Just seeing that it was dark in the bathroom as soon as I went to go in, like that. Yeah. Games like this and like Alan Wake don't feel like horror games to me, but they feel very close to it. But in a way that I can feel comfortable playing them and not like I'm gonna have trouble sleeping or have horrible nightmares. Maybe a little bit. Because they, especially this game, does get really freaky and stuff like that. But well, and here we have
They can fly now. Great.
Ooh. That was a strong hit. I need the sprint to keep sprinting, please. I just want to hide for a second. Get some of those health pickups. Tomasi, where? There we go. So he ran.
I have a feeling he'll be back. Let's stay focused. The hotline should be past the
Now,
mailroom.
with the way that the red encroaches on the screen, like that looks like really any other the way that any other game would show you that you're almost out of health, that you're close to dying. But here it feels a little bit more like it fits thematically that it's not necessarily that death, but you know, that situation early on, just after she had gotten the service weapon and had to fight off that hiss in her mind. You know, everything was going red, and yep, that's the room he went through. Everything was going red, and she had to really like focus to fight it off with the help of this thing that she's talking to. But with that and the way that everything related to the hiss is really shown with this bright red glow, it feels more like she's not necessarily close to death, but close to being taken, like possessed, like everyone else, by the hiss. Alright, but that is the first like proper boss fight in this game. I just got a launch efficiency thing, which may be better than the health one for me. Actually, you know what? I think I will keep the 22% health recovery. That's
Alberto Tomasi, head of comms.
pretty substantial.
The hiss got him.
All right, take this down. The situation in Cuba has been evaluated by the relevant authorities. The mysterious illness affecting the staff at the U.S. Embassy in Havana was caused by sonic weaponry in the hands of a foreign power. Numerous personnel have damage to the inner ear, but most are expected to make a full recovery. Of course, the event also damaged their cellular walls, but we can't blame that on some stupid noise gun. Thank God no local doctors examined them first. Honestly, what are the odds an alternate item will show up inside a U.S. embassy? Talk about good luck, huh? So much easier to... Hey, are you still recording this?
So this is something I actually just noticed now. I never noticed this when I was playing before, but there are 5 sectors, but one of them, the name is like taped off. It's like it's redacted. Just leaving a little bit of the word sector, but the rest of it is completely masked off. Whereas you've got executive, where we start, where we are now, I suppose. Research, containment, and maintenance. So we'll have to see as the game goes on what that one could be, if we even remember this. And that would presumably tell us why it's marked off.
The hotline can't be far now.
This little movement issue is really kind of annoying, and I'm definitely gonna have to do something to figure that out before the next time I play this game. It's a nice little scenic view. Interesting. I wonder if these paintings are relevant to anything. Like, genuinely, I'm not sure. It has been a while since I played this game.
Ocean View Motel and Casino. Dream Logic. The light switch cord. Door marked with the Black Pyramid.
Alright, so you mentioned a motel, a door marked with Black Pyramid. I think he said something about Dream Logic. Ocean View Motel and Casino. Entry point. The law of 3 applies.
Whoa. Have we been here before? No.
There's
I've stayed at
Spiral.
a lot of roadside motels across the country, on the road,
C in a
run under the
circle.
radar. This feels
Triangle.
like
Upside
all of
down
them, like
triangle filled in.
something recognized from a dream.
You might think that reminds you of the pyramid in that other place. Some other strange symbols. I guess we gotta check this door, huh? It's locked. It's such a weird situation. Like, there's outside to this place. It's like when at the start of the game you could see people and cars walking around outside, but then you're in this place and everything is so strange in this place, in the Federal Bureau of Control. But at the very beginning you wouldn't even think anything of it, but like now that we get here, like this feels like it feels like this has to be just a place that exists somewhere, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's some like alternate reality, alternate dimension or something.
Hello? Anyone here?
So, just heard a door open over here. And these doors all have normal numbers, unlike the others. On the other side, which were all marked with differently painted symbols, which, by the way, looked like they were just painted on, not like they were proper fixtures attached to the doors like these numbers are. Different door opened. Doesn't seem to be anything here. We got a music cue there, which leads me to believe this one has a
Key
key.
has a black pyramid on it.
I gotta say, is just for some reason going through this place, this little motel, creeps me out. And that painting looks suspiciously like Jesse, from the perspective that we would see in the game. And the rule of 3 applies. And there we are. It seems like going through that process is how you make this bridge appear. So we're back here for another astral plane situation. Presumably the board is testing us or something before it allows us to do to go further. So, while this thing, like, gets highlighted, and I can throw stuff at it, it is just a weird, destructive anomaly that you can't stop. And it will just try to chase you. So your only real option with these things is to run away. And you can kind of see, like, they've got the same coloration and everything as all the other stonework in this place. So you also see stuff kind of floating, levitating around them. So maybe what the actual entity isn't all that we're seeing, but we're seeing chunks of material that they're like pulling up, because obviously as it moves around it's shattering this stone and flinging bits of it everywhere. So I don't know, maybe they're made of the stone, maybe they are just manipulating the stone, and that is making up large portions of what we see. Either way, it's a dangerous enemy. And the fact that the board just referred to the collectibles menu is wild. Like, they're breaking the fourth wall a little bit.
It is a phone. It's an object of power.
I love these.
It doesn't connect to any typical network. A direct line to the astral plane and the board. And my hypothesis is, under the right conditions, to other planes of existence as well.
A director needs a team. My management team. These people know the secrets of the Bureau as well as I do. Some even better. Darling, Tomasi, Salvador, Marshall. Marshall especially, my head of operations. She sees right through me. She knows I don't like relying on people. The only person you should fail is yourself. But things change when you become director.
I have it. The hotline. I can reach Trench. Well, listen to him. He feels more like an echo. An echo with important info. I need to get back to Emily. People react strongly when I tell them about you. Is it too soon to tell Emily? She might be able to help.
And we're back in the director's office. Trench's body is gone. The mess is still here. But, gotta wonder what happened to the body. I guess, shoot, I don't even know what I guess. Ah, there's still some bits out here from the first fight I had. It's interesting. But I can get into this room now because I have that clearance. So I can pick up another collectible, like, little lore thing and open that box. But I think I'm going this way. Clearance level 4 to get into whatever is in that room with the sticky notes. I think that's what that is. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Just blank sticky notes. Yeah, if you see me, like, suddenly just, like, go to, like, walking pace, it's not something I'm choosing to do. Alright, so I want to go probably to the boardroom. Now, I think
Jesse,
for this game...
Did you get the hotline? I mean, how is it out there? The comms? The hiss? Sorry. You made it. I'm glad.
Emily? Let's talk.
Of course.
So as I was saying when I stepped into this room, I think for this game and presumably other games like it, like Alan Wake, when I get to that one, I'm not going to do the full-length 3-hour streams. I'm just going to do 2 hours, so that would be, for this case, another half hour that we'll do here. Just because I don't want to burn out on it and get through it, you know, super quickly or anything like that. So give us a little bit of opportunity to
I got the
stay
hotline.
with the game a
I
little
can make
longer.
out what Trench is saying now.
Incredible. What did he say?
He talked about his management team. People who knew the Bureau's secrets. Your boss, Darling. Tomasi, but he's gone. He's gone. Salvador?
He's the head of security.
And Marshall?
Helen Marshall is head of operations. She's tough, ex-CIA. She took her rangers and went to the research sector to secure the HRA production. She hasn't come back.
Someone who could help us. The other sectors. How do I get there?
It's impossible because of the internal lockdown. You can perform a directorial override to lift it, but that can only be done in the maintenance sector. Normally, you take the sector elevator down there. It connects all the sectors, but it won't work while the lockdown is in effect.
We already got past one lockdown. Maybe I can find a way.
Jesse, look, with no prep, no training, in this extreme situation, you are doing phenomenally well. And all that and the hiss can't seem to affect you. I mean, I would love to run some tests on you. If you agree, that is. We could find out something that would help us.
Tests? I don't know. She might find out about you. But I wouldn't mind understanding more myself. Okay. If you think it will help.
Great. I'll check the internal documentation for any lockdown bypasses. We need to get these sectors open to locate Darling and Marshall.
And I'll look for a way inside the maintenance sector. The sooner we find one, the sooner I reach this override.
Hi, Jesse.
Thanks, Emily. I'm sure I'll have more questions soon.
Just let me know.
Okay,
Do
so I
you
wasn't
hear that?
sure.
Someone's singing. Where's it coming from?
Singing. It seems troubling.
Singing. Sounds like it's coming from the elevator.
They say the new director can launch objects up to 20 feet.
Bullshit.
Okay,
We
so
never recorded any distance over 5.
Obviously, you never read the P6 data.
so we can get some upgrades now. Let's see. I definitely want to get a health upgrade. Tempted to get a second health upgrade, but I want to get energy. I think it gave me 4. What makes a lot of sense to do is just get all the 4 basic ones. Just got an additional weapon form slot, which... Oh, I can make the Shatter weapon form. This stuff doesn't really matter. So now I can switch to Shatter, which is cool. Go ahead and throw an increased projectile to Shatter. So it'll fire 2 extra projectiles instead of whatever it normally would. This does 24, so it's a slight increase to what I had before, so I think I'll definitely want that. Now, this singing coming from the elevator.
Time to work. Meet me in the maintenance.
So,
Like I said before,
the
the
janitor.
janitor is a friendly face.
So this whole place is on lockdown. We don't have the means of getting anywhere. And that's kind of our biggest roadblock. And then all of a sudden this janitor, you can hear the janitor singing. Then he says to meet him in maintenance, and the elevator lets us go to the maintenance sector. So there's definitely something weird going on there. But also it kind of works in our favor. It gets us what we need. I truly don't understand. Like that bar was
The
going
maintenance sector
so
is the
quickly.
janitor domain. If
Stops
I
at
can
the
find
very
Audrey here,
end.
he can help me reach the override. Maybe it was you who took me into the oldest house with the lockdown on. Maybe it was Ahti. It felt like he made the elevator appear that took me to Trench's office. Is Ahti guiding me too?
So now I have this sort of shotgun mode for the service weapon. And you can see it shows that it's in that mode as all the floating bits kind of spread out to the sides like wings. Whereas in the normal form, it's just got that one raised bit. And it looks like maybe there's a bit at the front that sticks out that normally doesn't. But we're gonna try out this new shatter mode if we come across any enemies. And of course I can't help myself, so I'm gonna wander every path to see if there's stuff to pick up. We're back in the red light, so that means there's probably gonna be enemies soon. In fact, there's maybe even already enemies
The
wandering
directorial
around.
override is right there, in the control room. How do we get there?
Oh, you can recognize those are security guys, rangers or something. I don't know if rangers are all the security or if it's just some of them. I think it might just be some of them. Cleanse the control point here. Put this room back to normal. Now, we're in a building in, I think, what, New York City? And we have a sign pointing in the building to a quarry. So that'll be interesting to see. But it's just more of the things like weird sign listings that you wouldn't see in a place, like in an office building, right? Just give me one moment to check on something real quick. All right. So blindly relying on it to find something for you to throw doesn't always work. Because sometimes the stuff that it picks up doesn't have a good line of sight to where you're trying to aim. Oh. That was a dangerous one. That guy, one guy kind of snuck up on me from a path I wasn't expecting. Then his buddy, I wasn't able to get something with the telekinesis like I was hoping. And so I had to rely on the weapon.
What's down that way?
You know what? Let's go ahead and do that one. Obviously, the main story wants us to go to the janitor's office, but we want to see what's going on down here. There's a weird flashing red. Oh, a side room. This might... Okay, yeah, this is one of the ones I don't like, so I'm just going to pick it up, and I'm going to just leave it where it's at. In fact, you know what? Can I... Nope. That's a solid TV right there. But yeah, those videos, creepy as hell. Don't like it. Alright, so now we're down here. Wherever down here is. Got walls and ceiling and floor that are flowing like waves.
This place makes me nauseous.
I don't know if this is still the astral plane or
An object of power.
what.
How do you think it got down here? A carousel horse. Why is kid stuff always so creepy?
Alright, so now I've got this quick evade, like this dash button. Which I can even do in the air, which is handy for clearing gaps like these. That's an interesting little way to do the challenge. Just have
Hiss keep up with me now.
Okay, so yeah, this area, even though it's strange and seems to be made of the same, like, otherworldly... Actually, I think the textures on this are different from the astral plane. But even though it's, like, visually similar to the style of it, must be just a part of the building and not directly related to it, because I was just at the astral plane. Man, that light is blinding. Am I supposed to be going this way? Is this the exit? Okay. Another floor that crumbles away and I fall to somewhere. Alright, looks like, in fact, I fell into the room that I originally fell out of. So, I wonder if that card has anything to do with anything. So yeah, I fell from that room into the chamber where the horse was, and then I fell out of the chamber with the horse into that room. Which, of course, is an impossible thing. All right.
Well done. You got the job. It's place for congratulations. Yippee, saatana. It happened in the last drop. I truly need an assistant.
Funny thing is, I've been a janitor. I'm more at home in that role than as the director. Only Ahti here seems to see that.
Yeah, hi, Ahti. Look, we need to get the lockdown lifted, otherwise I can't get to the other sectors. Can you help me get to the override?
Yes, yes. Easy peasy. It's just around the corner. But first, we need to get you working. Very small, couple of hours job.
Something tells me it's gonna be more than that.
Yeah. You think there's a dog buried in this? I can tell you are not the yesterday's Krause's son. That's why you'll make a great assistant. Very well. I'll hit the facts on the table. Mä kyllä sanon perkele suoraan, että this house has a vermin problem. A bad one. They've already messed up the cooling pumps. And the power generators of a power plant, perkele. And the pensioner inside is starting to feel the band around his head tighten. The situation needs to be fixed before the plant blows up. And we all disappear like a fart in Sahara.
Trying my best to keep up with this. Fix the coolant pumps and the power generators, otherwise the power plant will blow.
But don't you worry. I've left you clear instructions. You'll catch the end of the thread before I go to my vacation. The work's on the task board here. You can do later, when you have time.
Vacation? Right.
Yes, no one's gonna cancel my holiday or seat's gonna rattle. But don't worry at all. You'll take care of it and soon this crisis gonna be last winter's snow. You better go now, so you don't have to run with your head as your third leg. The door in the back leads to the plant.
The door in the back. That's great. Thank you, Ahti.
Well, obviously, I'm immediately gonna pick this up.
Yep. Burn the trash. Throw it in the fire. Burn it all. Burn it into a reindeer, not into a moose.
Alright. So, there is kind of the main door there, but they use this as a way to interact with him, I guess. I don't know why. Beyond it just being like, maybe... Like, thinking about like the layout of the building, having the double doors here, where you obviously have to move stuff through, like large containers of stuff, things like that makes sense. And then having access on both sides to the janitor's office kind of makes sense. But in gameplay thoughts, like you'd think maybe they just make these two rooms one and the same. But I don't know. Maybe this is
Okay,
based
so what
on.
happens again if that thing blows up?
Power. Explosion. Too much. Director's duty. Keep the lights on.
All right. So yeah, I don't know if maybe the layout for bits of this game are based on like actual like buildings of this sort. Like this obviously isn't anywhere near a realistic building because there's so much weird stuff going on and certain things that they have to do to fit the story of the game and everything, but I don't know. I have always kind of wondered how the process goes for game devs coming up with like level design for stuff based on like real concepts, like this being kind of based on a government building and stuff like that. NSC power plant. What does NSC mean?
It's dangerous out here, lady. Go see Chief Arish. He's just inside. He'll help you.
Lady, I'm the director.
Ma'am! Hey! Chief Arish, FBC Security. Shouldn't you be in a safe room?
They all have HRAs. We're on the same side.
My name is Jesse Faden. I'm here to perform the directorial override to get the lockdown lifted.
Yeah, Chief Arish, FBC Security. I'm just... Oh, hang on, you're the new director. It's a pleasure, ma'am.
Let's skip the formalities, please.
Right. Faden, ma'am. Look, as you can probably tell, it's a bit of a shit show down here. We've been holding our ground, but whatever's gotten into our buddies has them wrecking the coolant pumps and the power converters. The NSC keeps overheating, and my crews keep getting shot before they have a chance to make any repairs.
NSC?
Oh, sorry. Bureau jargon. It's what we call the power plant. You know, the big rumbling metal thing? Salvador, head of security, asked me to protect it in case of an attack. See, what's inside is dangerous. Dr. Darling seemed to know it would be a target.
Darling? He's here?
No, he came down a few days ago, before everything went to hell. He was out of it. Smelled like a bar mat. He was ranting about vulnerabilities and how he only had one large-scale HRA, but that he needed it somewhere else. Still, at least he gave us these personal HRAs before he left. Hey, did I mention that he was tearing his clothes off? Crazy dude.
Darling knew the hiss was coming.
Listen, I love playing 20 questions as much as the next guy, but we have got to get the water and electrical systems repaired before this baby blows. I'll have my guys unlock the doors out of here for you.
I'll take care of it. You stay and keep the hiss away from the plant if you can.
The hiss? That's what we're calling him? Oh, that's catchy. Oh, listen, the radios aren't working, so if you find my boss Salvador out there, could you please ask him what the plan is? I'm sure he will have one by now.
I'll keep an eye out for him.
He sure has a lot of faith in his boss.
Try to stay alive.
All right, well.
Is the clock back? Now? Oh man, Adi is gonna be so pissed.
The clog. It's pointing me to a control point that I didn't even think about. Now, before we are all, before all is said and done, let's just take a look at things here, see if there's anything important that we want to equip. Wow. I've had this thing for all of what, like a half hour, and I already have this many things to go. Management team was the first one I got, so these two must have all, or these three must have all been right at the beginning, and then the rest I probably picked up as we were going. I don't know. And I don't remember. Yeah, Threshold Kids. Those are the videos that I do not like seeing. They're freaky. Properly creepy, because it's like, I think it's like similar to some of the cutscenes you've seen with Dr. Darling, where it's like a live recording. I think that's what they do with Threshold Kids, but it's actually like puppets that are just made really creepy looking. It is truly unsettling. I hate just to have to get rid of these markers for my own sanity. So we're about 2 hours in, and like I said, that's going to be about the end of it for this stream. But before we go, I just want to do a quick level up and increase my energy, because the more I can throw stuff, the easier the game is going to be. All right, and so I don't even have spin yet, but grip, that's the default form. I can upgrade it if I get a lot more source and 14 more ritual impulse, which are just random things you pick up off of enemies as you defeat them. Oh, and if I get 5,000 source, I can upgrade the Astral Constructs, the upgrades to weapons and powers. Or, not necessarily powers directly, but yeah, personal mods and weapon mods. So that's something to also keep in mind. Oh, I can do countermeasures. I don't think countermeasures... Were countermeasures added after the fact with the DLCs, or were they in the game from the beginning? I don't remember, but... you know what? We can get upgrades and stuff this way, so... I could do the Shatter one. Actually, I don't know if I pick it now, will it still be there when I load in the game? I'm not sure. I don't have Charge. So, yeah, I can't get these higher level ones. But, yeah, I could accept the Shadow. Can I accept multiple? I can't. How many can I accept? Can I accept them all? It looks like I can accept 3. Which those are the only ones I would be able to do anyway. So, yeah. Like I said, however, I don't want to go too far here. I think, okay, yeah. Gotta save there. I don't want to keep this going any longer, so how do I do... Okay. So that's where we're going to call this stream. We'll pick up this game another time. I think we'll see what happens, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to play Alan Wake first, get through that game, and maybe even get through the American Nightmare, kind of the side game. I've played through both of them already, so it's not like it's going to be a blind playthrough or anything. But I do want to get those, kind of a refresher on those games, because it's been quite a while for me since I've played them. And with them being tied into this game, and with Alan Wake 2 coming out sometime next year, presumably, it would be, I think, a perfect time to check those out. However, that's going to be it for this stream. So everyone who has been watching the stream, everyone who's checking out the VODs, thank you guys for coming by, and look forward to seeing you next time. Other than that, have a good one, everyone.